Greetings everyone, my name's Dom and today I'm going to be running over my thoughts on 1440p, who it's for and whether it's worth it to upgrade from say 1080p. So I got a 1440p monitor, the Acer XB270HU, and I must say I'm quite blown away. But then I should be costing £500 more than my old 1080p panel. It's no lie that 1440p comes at a cost. This is why it raises so much question, is it even worth it? To look at this, we must first look at what you're going to be doing with it. For me, that's editing, gaming, and in future, streaming. In all of these cases, it is a huge improvement over 1080p standard. Everything is so neat and crisp, down to text, and even my desktop wallpaper looks incredible. If you use it for workflow, the extra resolution gives a nicer, bigger workplace. 1080p feels claustrophobic compared to 1440p. Your workflow will become a lot more efficient as you can physically see and do more things at once. The high resolution isn't just a cool gimmick that you'll forget about after a week. It's incredibly practical, and so my conclusion for that is yes. For workflow, whether it be pro video, pro audio, pro photo editing, or stuff in, I don't know, Excel, then yes, it is definitely worth it. But let's take a look at the benefits in gaming. Graphics play a major role in modern gaming. On PC, better is always, well, better. Resolution plays a big part in looking good. Look back 6 or 7 years and you'll see gaming was the flip side of today. Back then 1080p was seen like 4K is now. There wasn't really any hardware that can run it, but of course times change, as does the hardware with it. But let's just talk about that, the graphical fidelity. The difference between 1080p and 1440p. I mean, is there even that much difference? For those who have tried out DSR to get 1440p, then you'll know there's like no difference between 1080p and 1440p. It clears up a bit in the background, but the difference is negligible. At the native resolution, however, the difference is clear as day. Even on the menus, everything looks so beautifully crisp. Textures look that bit more detailed, anti-aliasing is barely needed, everything feels so empowering. For the visual improvement alone, I would say it's worth it. But there are other benefits to a bigger resolution too. Thanks to there being more pixels, there is more information going into your eyes. Instead of there being, say, 5 pixels to display on an enemy's head, there's 9, so aiming feels a lot more accurate and a lot more precise too. All these things add up to make 1440p a no-brainer. You will see the most difference coming from something below 1080p, however, say 900p for example. But as I said before, in PC gaming, better is always, well, better. Unfortunately, the price to drive 1440p doesn't just lie in the monitor. I personally own a GTX 980 Ti, and in my opinion it's the best card for it. My config takes full advantage of 144Hz at 1440p for something like 60fps, 1440p, or the sweet spot per se. I recommend a GTX 970 or an R9 390. That will get you 60fps at 1440p maxed out on pretty much everything. Obviously, these cards are pricey, and if you have anything below that, you will have to tone down the settings to high or even medium. 1440p is not a walk in the park, although my overclocked R9 280X handled 1440p with VSR pretty good. On BF4 I remember getting about 60 to 70 FPS maxed out. Unsure about native 1440p though, as I didn't have a monitor back then. Speaking of my monitor, it also supports a 144Hz refresh rate. If you want to know whether or not that is worth it, I've already done a video on that. Click here if you want to check that out. But in conclusion, I am completely happy with my purchase. I think 1440p is definitely worth it. However, if you're just a person who doesn't use your PC too often, then I can find it really hard to recommend it to you, as I don't think you get much use out of it, and I think it'd be a waste. In fact, I find it hard to figure out why you're even watching this video. Perhaps you're rich and have bucket loads of money to spend for absolutely no reason. Looking at you, Notch. How you doing, babe? If you're also considering 4K, I would say on a productivity standpoint, 1440p is where it's at. 4K is even more expensive to drive than 1440p. Plus, there's currently no 144Hz 4K monitors on the market, and support still isn't fully there. Perhaps if you have an overkill system already and game a fair amount, then yeah, I guess it's worth it. It all depends on what you want to do with it, and so ultimately the decision is up to you. I personally think the sweet spot is 1440p right now, in gaming, productivity, and just generally where mid to higher end the hardware is right now. It's suited for 1440p. But anyway guys, if this video did help you out, then do show your appreciation by tapping that like button. I love your face, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ta-ra!